innumerable fines. And we see that in all the big banks, the bullion banks. And they thought they had it made. They thought that they would escape. But Michael Saylor and others figured out that they've got this vulnerability. And the game is on. I got into Bitcoin as part of my efforts, with Stacy going back many years now. The global insurrection against banker occupation is what we called it. We've talked about the dangers of fiat money and central banking for a number of years, and Bitcoin was obvious to me back in 2011 that this could be an escape route. And now we've got the likes of Michael Saylor, possibly Elon Musk, Paul Tudor Jones over there in his hedge fund. He's now piling on. Stan Druckenmiller, the architect of the Bank of England raid, has made positive comments on Bitcoin. Ray Dalio was a skeptic. Now he's kind of neutral. I think Ray Dalio will put 20% of his portfolio into Bitcoin in the next few months. Particularly since his performance has been pretty bad for 2020, he needs to get back in the race here. He needs some alpha. Ray needs alpha.
Is that really the game changer, Max, as opposed to, let's say, 5-6 years ago for Bitcoin, where we're seeing an acceptance by mainstream Wall Street of Bitcoin?
The acceptance by mainstream Wall Street, Wall Street sells products, right? And they are part of the distribution, but they're not the key decision makers so much. I mean, not the vast army of brokers out there, but it doesn't matter whether people understand this or not. It's like how many people could explain, the exchange rate mechanism disaster of Black Wednesday in 1992. Right. Ask the average investor, how did Soros bankrupt the Bank of England in 1992? And they'll say, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, right. A year from now, 2 years from now, Bitcoin was $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a coin. And you'll say, oh, well, you own it in your account. Can you tell me how Saylor organized a speculative account back in 2021? They'll be like, no, I have no idea what you're saying, but I know I made a lot of money.
It
right?
doesn't, yeah, exactly.
Need acceptance.
I don't think it matters then, but what I'm saying is, like, for, mainstream folks here, they see like Saylor, they see Dalio, they see Druckenmiller, all of a sudden they say, oh, well, maybe Bitcoin's not so risky if they're taking, part in it. All of a sudden they feel safer investing in Bitcoin because of this acceptance.
Yeah, well, people who put their the $1,200 relief check in Bitcoin, right. I think are close to tripled their money already. The government's sending out another $600. The average investor is got the buying power, but when I was working on Wall Street in the 1980s, you had a shift to the institutions. There the price discovery is in the institutional level. The retail trader is not driving price discovery. It's the institutional money that's driving price discovery, and the institutional money is figured out that they've got a one-way bet here, and they've got virtually unlimited buying power because the central banks have made the cost of money virtually nothing. So what Saylor did was, and I got to give it to Saylor, I got to hand it to him, he could have taken the easy route and simply borrowed a lot of money and bought back his own stock. He would have made a ton of money. But instead, he thought, as an engineer, as a rocket scientist, as a deep thinker, I figured out what these cyber hornets, as he calls the Bitcoiners. I understand what they're saying here, that there's a vector out of the central bank collusion that is destroying the world. And I can make 10, 20, 30 times what I would have made had I been buying back my own stock. Now, the mercenaries that run these big companies like Apple or other companies with huge cash positions, they're not going to, or Jeff Bezos, they're not going to sit back and watch Michael Saylor get richer than them, right? Saylor could be richer than Bezos if this works. And Bezos is not going to sit back and say, oh, jolly good. He's a wonderful chap. Good luck to you, matey. No, he's going to be like, I don't want somebody else being richer than me. But Larry Ellison doesn't want anyone being richer than him. Elon Musk, right? So they're like, wait a minute, we got to get in on this trade. So there's just a huge rush by institutional money. Whether the retail person or the average person figures it out or they get involved, it doesn't matter. They're not a factor at all. America is run by a clique of super billionaires, and you have to understand what they're doing.
So getting to that exchange between Saylor and Elon Musk, and I know Peter Schiff went on Twitter saying, well, people are forgetting the second half of that convo where, yes, at first Elon Musk expressed some interest. Saylor said, do your shareholders a $200 billion favor. Elon Musk later tweeted, well, no, Bitcoin, I think, is BS, just like fiat money. Where does the truth lie there, Max, in your opinion? I know you didn't speak to Elon Musk directly, but where do you think it lies?
Right. Well, the learning curve for Bitcoin, everyone is on it at their own speed. So for me, I got it in 2011. Michael Saylor looked at it in 2013. He didn't understand it. It took him 5 or 6 years to really figure it out. We've got Elon Musk is now looking at it, and because he's a smart guy, he'll get orange pilled, as we call it, and he'll understand what's going on here, and he'll jump in. Peter Schiff, he's in denial. Basically, he's a fiat money addict, and like a heroin addict or a drug addict, you can't do anything about it until Peter Schiff bottoms. Until he hits fiat money bottom, he's not gonna be able to help himself. And there's nothing anyone can do to help Peter Schiff. He has to hit bottom. He has to realize he's been dead wrong. For the 10 years I've been telling him to buy Bitcoin since it was $1. I was at his house in Westport, Connecticut over Christmas a few years ago when it was under $100. I begged him and his son, who heard about it, who's now buying Bitcoin. And I told him to buy it 1,000. I've been telling him to buy it for 10 years. But he hasn't hit bottom yet. And it's very, very sad to see somebody like that destroy their life, destroy their career. But some people they just can't get it. They can't get it. They can't get Bitcoin sober.
And it's an open invitation. I'd love to have you and Peter Schiff both on.
I've debated him several times.
I know.
Every time I just
beat him as the moderator.
It's like he doesn't have any arguments. He's never studied even for 5 minutes anything about Bitcoin. He cannot make an intelligent argument about it. He simply says, he just mouths, platitude. He just says silly things, and he's an addict. It's like arguing with a heroin addict to take the needle out of your arm, Peter. It's a really bad idea. He goes, no, just one more shot. I just want one more shot. Right? There's no way you can get someone like that to come around and help themselves. And sometimes, some of us have to die. So that others can live. We can't get overly sentimental about Peter Schiff. If he wants to go down with the fiat money ship, there's nothing we can do about it. I've spent all the time I'm ever going to spend trying to help Peter Schiff from obliterating his career and his life. And I'm not going to spend any more time on Peter Schiff. I got 10,000 people in my Telegram group from all over the world who are buying $10 and $20 of Bitcoin every day, and their lives are improving. They're supporting their families. They're getting an education. They're escaping the hyperinflation in Venezuela, and they're escaping poverty in Cuba. Those are the people we need to focus on. Don't focus on this bloated fiat money idiot who is simply trying to get attention by pretending to be even stupider than he really is.
All right.
It's
okay.
such a waste of time.